This is episode 22 with Nathan Chan. Hi, my name is Mike Dillard, and this is Self-Made Man, the podcast for men who want to leave their mark on the world and create a legacy of honor, integrity, and achievement in every aspect of their lives. I'm glad you're here, and once again, it is time to forge your destiny. So how do you launch a digital magazine from your laptop and end up competing with the likes of Entrepreneur, Inc., Success, and Fortune in less than 36 months? Well, today we're going to find out as we sit down with Nathan Chan, the founder behind Foundr magazine. Less than 3 years ago, at the age of 25, Nathan decided to take a course on creating a digital magazine for the iTunes bookstore, and today Foundr is now downloaded over 25,000 times per month. It has guests like Richard Branson, Tim Ferriss, Damon John from Shark Tank, and Ariana Huffington gracing its covers. Its Instagram count alone has over 350,000 followers, and that number is growing by 50,000 per month. So how did Nathan pull all of this off without any previous experience? Well, you're about to find out in one of the most valuable episodes of Self-Made Man yet. All right, welcome back, everybody. Mike Dillard here, and today we are going to be talking from an amazing young entrepreneur who is coming to us all the way from Melbourne, Australia. It is midnight over there where you are, Mr. Nathan Chan. So welcome to Self-Made Man.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
And as I mentioned in the intro, Nathan is the CEO and really the founder of Foundr magazine, which is an amazing publication for entrepreneurs. And he's obviously going to be talking to us about that here today. But Nathan's done an amazing job of launching one of the most popular online magazines in the world and on the Apple platform. He's got over 25,000 monthly readers of the mag right now. They reach over 1 million people per month through all of their channels, whether that's Instagram, email, Facebook, whatever it may be. And just to give you an idea of that, they've got over 350,000 followers on Instagram for the Foundr publication and Foundr channel. So Nathan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to hear about your story as a new self-made man, if you will, and how you got there and what Foundr is all about and what you're up to next.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's an absolute pleasure. It's funny because before I jumped on, I was listening to one of your episodes with Eben, and I'm quite familiar with your work. Like when you go to Eben's website, he has a testimonial from you, and I know you work from the Elevation Group. So yeah, I'm really pumped to be here. And when I was listening to that episode with Eben, I heard that he was a mentor of yours, and you found him from his early days with David D'Angelo, and I was the exact same. Like that kind of all started for me, like this journey that I'm on, man, was actually with that David D'Angelo stuff. I remember I bought like a whole 12-disc series off eBay or something.
Nice. And how old are you now, Nathan?
I'm 28. So
okay.
This would have been, wow, maybe when I was like 23, so like 5 years ago.
Right.
And it was funny. It's cool because I've never talked about this stuff before, but I was really into the whole men's movement thing, or like I read The Way of a Superior Man and by David Data, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I didn't feel like I still felt like a boy, when I was at that age of 23. I don't know why.
That's pretty young, my friend.
So. I don't know, but I did feel like a man, and I felt like I was at the age that I should have. So I went down this path of I know David D'Angelo did all this stuff on what it means to become a man and all this stuff. And I think it was called Man Transformation or something. I can't believe I'm saying this stuff. It's a little embarrassing, but it's really interesting because it was great to hear that you come from like a similar type journey.
Well, I really think that just credits the importance of the work and why I really think that it's important to talk about it, because that's really why I started, Self-Made Man in the show, was to provide the same kind of source of leadership or mentorship, because if it wasn't for going through those types of programs, I would not be who I am today, like not even close. And I was going to say, I assume it had a similar impact for you.
Yeah, look, For me, yeah, I didn't really feel like I said, like a man, and it's really weird to say that, but yeah, it took me down this path, and I remember I even did some like local seminars around like masculinity and all sorts of things, like with like a group of men, and it was, man, that stuff was life changing. Like, I did like a weekend workshop, and wow, that really blew me away. And then I met this guy. I remember I was reading The Way of the Superior Man on the train. This is because I started Foundr when I was working my day job, and I was working in IT, and I started on the side, and I remember even before I started, I was always searching for something. I was searching to do fulfilling work. I was searching for my purpose, and I guess. I was on the train reading The Way of the Superior Man, and this guy, he saw that I was reading it, and he got off at the same train station as me, and he said, "Oh, he was an older guy, probably about 40 or 50, and he said to me, his name was Tony, and he said to me, "Oh, I saw you reading that book. You should check out this other book. What was the name of the book? It was." Oh, I forget the name of the book. I've got it here somewhere in my bookcase, but it was a really good book, and it was another masculinity type book, and yeah, he took me down this path, and we did a lot of work together. Like I did a lot of one on one, like because he was like a transformational coach,
Hmm.
and he helped people find their purpose. And I think if it wasn't for that kind of stuff, I really wouldn't be on the path that I'm on today because it's like he shared with me something around, what do you call it? Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Are you
Hmm.
familiar with that? Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
sure you are. And yeah, he really showed me and really opened me up to what that's all about and really what life's all about.
That's awesome. So, what brought you around or inspired you to start Foundr? Where did that come from?
I read the 4 Hour Work Week, a long time ago. It took me a while to even to start anything. And what happened was I thought that I was really good with IT and technology. I was working in IT because that's where I got my first degree. And I thought that if, like, I always had a passion for marketing, I thought maybe I could go back to uni and potentially, do a master's of marketing and combine the two. And that led me down this path to doing like online marketing courses, like researching online around how to drive traffic and do online marketing stuff. And I thought I could do like online marketing stuff in corporate. So I did this free course by a guy called Ed Dale, and
Oh,
it was
yeah,
called the 30-Day Challenge.
absolutely. Great, great program.
Yeah, and Ed's actually ended up because he's from Melbourne too, and he's actually ended up becoming one of my mentors. And long story short, because I did that free course, I was on his email list, and he created another course that allowed you and taught you how to create and publish your own magazine on the App Store, your own digital magazine on the App Store for mobile and tablet devices. And I just thought it was such a brilliant idea, and like I said, I was searching for my purpose, man. Like I was searching for something. I didn't know what it was, whether it was working in marketing in corporate or whether it was doing my own thing. I always knew, like I think thinking back, I always knew that I was destined for so much more. And I always was a bit of a hustler and, a bit of a wheeler and dealer, and I always was quite resourceful. So, yeah, I identified that there wasn't really a publication out there that really served young, aspiring, and early stage startup founders and entrepreneurs. And I felt that, publications like Forbes, at times could be difficult to relate to. And I knew podcasts were really hot. Podcasts are 10 times hotter now, but 2 years ago, they were starting to get hot. And I knew that this interview thing was something that you could do to, I guess, create a brand and build your authority. So I just took that, and I knew nothing about entrepreneurship, nothing about apps, nothing about design, nothing about editorial, nothing about publishing a magazine, and I just kind of purchased Ed's course. Didn't have much money at the time. Cost me 2 grand on my credit card, and the rest is kind of history. And I started Foundr, but it wasn't actually called Foundr in the beginning, to be honest.
Okay. Well, what was it?
I can't say the name of what it was called because I was sued for trademark
Oh,
infringement,
no. Got it.
but by one of the biggest print publications and business magazines in the States. So, yeah, but I was sued for trademark infringement 4 months in, and we rebirthed as Foundr.
I'm going to just take a wild guess here that the title included the word entrepreneur of some kind.
No, it actually wasn't, but
Okay.
it was another big one. But really funny story, man. Like, first serious business. As you can imagine, you wouldn't imagine. I don't know if you've been sued before, Mike. I know you've been in business for a long time, but yeah, it is not a great feeling for your first ever business, especially when you've got no money.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I can't imagine. That puts some hair on your chest very quickly.
Yeah, that's it,
Um,
man.
well, and the nice part about it was when you go through something like that and you survive and you come out the other end, your tolerance for stress and everything else is infinitely higher. And I don't know about you, but at least I found that any kind of legal situation that I've gone through, I come out the other end. One, you're still alive. The world has not come to an end, and your tolerance for that kind of stuff has been pushed up greatly, which I think is a real asset.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a really good point. And that's something I was actually going through with one of my new team members because, he's feeling quite overwhelmed at the moment. And I always say that, when you're feeling a little overwhelmed and stressed out, that's when you grow and expand, and your capacity to take on more grows.
Absolutely. So walk me through and walk the audience through your first issue. Like, what are you thinking? You're going through Ed's course, which is, great. It gives you a framework and a format, but you have to have a vision for the magazine at that point, how it looks, what you want it to contain, who you're going to have on the cover for your first issue, right? Because that says a lot. I put a lot of thought into who I wanted for episode 1 here at Self-Made Man that would really encapsulate all of the values that I wanted this program to be about. So walk us through what that was like for you when you're sitting there planning and putting together the very first issue.
You know what, Mike? I wish I could tell you that I was super strategic and I had it all worked out and I had a really solid plan. But the first issue was actually a stock image. We didn't even have a successful person on the front cover. It's actually super embarrassing and kind of ridiculous when you think about it. It's just like this guy with glasses, and it looks like he's doing the Superman pose where he's pulling off half of his shirt.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, one of my favorite quotes by a super successful entrepreneur, Reid Hoffman, one of the founders of LinkedIn,
Mm.
is if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And I'm super embarrassed by that first issue. And what I was going through at the time, Mike, was I purchased Ed's course and I was sitting on it for 7 months. I went through 3 different graphic designers. I knew that I wanted the design to be great. I was bootstrapping, I own the, we're self-funded, and I just realized that I had to launch. And my current designer, Karan, who I've been working with since day one, he was the last designer that I went with. He went through a big breakup in his, I guess, relationship, and he broke up with his girlfriend for like 9 or 10 years or something. So, things were taking a bit slow. Things were a bit slower than me and him had both planned to launch. And I just remember being so frustrated, and I literally just pulled together. I got my friends and my family and myself to write a couple of pieces, and yeah, look, the rest is kind of history. But I didn't go and have like a great launch. And I didn't plan it how you planned your first podcast episode to really set the scene. Wow, I just knew that I had to launch, and I was really eager because I remember thinking to myself, I was really casual about it all too. Like, I remember thinking to myself and speaking to my girlfriend and saying to her, like, if I'm gonna, launch Founder, whatever it was at the time, if I'm gonna launch this magazine, I'm gonna build it up to, become a successful business. I can replace my income, leave my job, and at that time, it was only a dream of building a lifestyle business. Do you think I work hard enough? And she said to me, no way. You don't work nowhere near hard enough. And I was really casual about it all, Mike.
Mm.
And I just had to launch because it was really, really dragging on. Like 7 months later, I should have launched by then, and we just had to launch. So I just had to get something out there. So I got something out there, and the first day we launched, we made $5.
And that was in subscription, people actually buying the mag.
Yeah, yeah, we had two subscribers.
Nice.
We had 75 downloads and two subscribers.
That's better than zero. you
Yeah, I
know.
know. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I remember when I first launched, I went for a walk with my housemate and his girlfriend to go get fish and chips. Do you guys have much fish and chips in Austin?
No, it's definitely not a United States gig.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we have a lot of like local fish and chip, stores in Australia, and it's maybe an Australian thing. But we went for a walk down the road to go get fish and chips, and I told them I'd launched, and I told them I made $5, and they were just pissing themselves laughing at me, and I remember feeling really embarrassed by that.
Mm. Yeah, well, I have to say that's any kind of result for me would have to be, even if one person bought it, like holy smokes, somebody bought my stuff. Is really a confirmation that the process works. Now it's just about doing more of that. How do we get more people to see it? How do we get more people to buy it? But it worked, and interestingly, I want to reiterate what you said about just getting it done. I've been walking a group of students through a list building course called List Grow that I launched about 2 or 3 months ago, and I've always really understood the same principle of it's better to get it done and out than have it be perfect. And, so for List Grow, it's just all about getting the website up, getting the members area up, getting the videos out. And, I'm making my own slides. I'm doing 100% of the content myself. I am not a designer. The website looks decent. It could be infinitely better. And at the end of the day, though, it's more important to just get it done and get it out there. And now, 3 months later, we're going to go back and we're going to improve the website. We're going to redesign everything. We're going to fix all of the bugs and problems or, defaults that we found that we know could be improved. And we're going to go back and we're going to do a second iteration and revamp it and just improve it. And it's just going to be a process of continual improvement. And so I really think that is an unbelievably important principle for people out there to really grab onto, which is getting it done and out is better than not, even if it's not the perfect iteration of what you want it to be just yet, because that can come down the road. So I have to say, I'm looking at issue number 1. I don't think it looks bad at all. It looks better than any magazine that I've ever done. So,
well, thank you.
So, and that's actually a question that I wanted to get into so far. You started this in spring of 2013, which is not long ago. I have to say it's one of the absolute best looking magazines as a whole that I've ever seen. The website, foundrmag.com looks absolutely fantastic. And you've really done a great job in a short amount of time of building a brand. And now that you've been doing that, you're getting bigger and bigger guests. I look at the image archive here of your past issues, which we'll put in the show notes for everybody. But you've got Damon John from Shark Tank on there. You've got Barbara as well, Tim Ferriss, Seth Godin, Deepak, Marie Forleo. Like the quality of folks that you've got on here are just getting better and better. Ariana Huffington. And so really you've got an amazingly legit mag that is up there competing against Success or Entrepreneur, any of those, in about 24 months. And so how did you do that? Let's just leave it at that. How did you do that?
Yeah, we're actually like if you look in the App Store under the business and investing section, yeah, we are one of the top 10 business and investing magazines in the App Store. So we sit next to Entrepreneur, Fast Company, Forbes, HBR. Sometimes certain days we actually outrank them, which is really funny. But how did I do it? It's been a lot of hard work and hustle, man. Like I think what it had to start with was I only ever focused on the magazine to begin with. And, it took me, in fact, a year to build up Foundr just to replace my day job income and, replace operating costs. So, I'll be very clear and transparent, Mike. I started Foundr on the side. I just, gave it a good hard crack for a year and wanted to see how far I could take it. I didn't know where it would end up. And as time went on, it's less of building a life. I don't want to build a lifestyle business anymore. We're far past that. And I think I just focused just very, very heavily on what it means to get people to want to download the magazine, what it means to create valuable content, what it means to find people that are looking for the kind of content that we produce and looking for a business magazine that's a cool and funky, hip, fresh alternative to an entrepreneur or a fast company or a success magazine. And that's all I have really been focused on for a very long period of time. So, first things first, I knew that if we were to be taken seriously as a magazine, I needed to get, big influencers on the front covers of our magazine. And in the first 4 months, I pitched Richard Branson, and he actually ended up saying yes. And that was our biggest feature that we had in the first 8 months. And I used that as a springboard to really work my way up I guess, the social proof ladder, or just to work my way up of interviewing all sorts of other influencers, some that you've named.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess from that, we were creating compelling, great content. I knew that the design had to be really great. So I was very, very, I guess, selective with working with the designer that I work with now, and I saw he had a real talent. He had a really, really great talent, and a great eye for design. And then I think the next piece of that puzzle, Mike, was I had to master search on the App Store because I didn't really have much money for customer acquisition, and I realized that the lowest hanging fruit was for us to find people that already had a mobile tablet device and they were already searching in the App Store for terms like Entrepreneur Magazine or
Mm,
just Business Magazine
mm.
and all those kinds of things. So I worked out a way to master search, and we essentially piggyback off all the other big magazines, and that allowed us to really, really grow the magazine for at least the first year. And a few other things around that. I just really just I guess I know you're a marketing genius. Like we just really track back the funnel. Like what does the pathway or the marketing path look like for someone to want to download the magazine? So one, they have to be searching for certain key terms. So it's like SEO for Google. The App Store has its own SEO. So what does it look like, and what are the top ranked terms? What are people searching for? And then what happens when they do hit that keyword? What do they see? They see a couple of screenshots, because screenshots are some of the biggest real estate now in app search and when you're searching for apps. So, how can we make compelling screenshots with great copy and wanting people to want to download the magazine? So, we made the Richard Branson issue free, like Eben's theory, or
Moving the
yeah,
free line.
yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
moving the free line. And we heavily communicated download the free Richard Branson issue, and then when people actually clicked on to download it, I always made sure that anyone that reached out to me, I always asked for reviews. Same thing with the podcast. You always want to get as many reviews as you can, and that's great social proof. And then what happens when that person downloads it? And then, we had a pop up that comes up, and it was a really, really, really strong pop up, and just implementing that, it changed the game for us. So, just these little things that I was doing every step of the way, just optimizing the marketing path or the funnel, whatever you want to call it, every step of the way allowed us to grow the magazine. And then from there, I looked, in the early days, we just had a basic landing page just to keep Apple happy, because that's all it's required from a support perspective. But then, when I left my job, I really, really worked out, what does it look like to get, a lot more readers, and really ramp up the reach and the growth of the business. So I found that we feature our influencers everywhere. So when you first come to the website, what's the first thing you see? You see a great designed website, and you see that, we've featured these influencers, these founders, and it's a great way to build trust. And I think, for us to be taken seriously, yeah, we've had to have influencers on the front covers that people know, like, and trust. And we've also had to have great design, which I guess it's almost to the point, if somebody sees our work, they're going to be like, what are these guys all about? And yeah, I really like, the color scheme we've got going on, and, just the edgy kind of look and feel around the design, and that makes us stand out from the rest. And yeah, so I guess a combination of influencers, utilizing influencers, great branding, great design, and great content, I think, has really helped us grow.
Yeah, agreed. I think what you guys have done from a graphic design standpoint really is what instantly gives you credibility. Where if no one's heard of Foundr before, they come to your website, they're like, "Oh, these guys are for real. This is
Yeah.
this is a real publication, and they've got amazing guests on it, and you're instantly put up there, with the other big boys, which is awesome." So I
Oh,
have
well,
to
thank
ask
you.
you real quick. You mentioned you went through 3 graphic designers earlier, and I would love to know if there was a methodology or strategy on how you went about finding that person, because I think in my experience, it's been incredibly difficult to find amazing designers. And so,
Mm, yeah, I agree.
yeah,
It's very difficult to find talent, Mike. You know, and if you do find talent, super super talented people, they'll charge you an arm and a leg. Like, I think I saw on your podcast you interviewed those guys that do some of the best websites I've seen.
digital telepathy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
digital telepathy, man. Like, mass respect for their work, but they charge an absolute arm and a leg.
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
So, like, you've got two ends of the spectrum. So for me, founders self-funded. I had a real challenge to find some, people that are super talented, but do work, at a very light fraction of the cost of the cost of what digital telepathy would charge. So I think, first things first, I just did the whole Elance thing. I went on Elance, and I put up a job ad, and we went through a few different designers, gave them test projects, and then I just somehow found, like, this unicorn, Karan, and he was just absolutely amazing. And I didn't even pay him that much money. We pay him, like, we in India. So he's from India, and
Mm.
I take really good care of him now, and we have actually really great relationship too. Like, I'll be very, very clear. I went to Karan's wedding in India last
Wow.
year,
Mm.
and I'd never met him before in real life, and we actually just came back from traveling around the states together, and yeah, like, we're good buddies. So it's much more than just a transaction. It's actually a friendship, and a really solid business relationship. So I've always, I was always looking to form a long-term business relationship, which I think is key when you're working with freelancers overseas. And also, I think it's really important that you do test projects. And I think the final thing, is ask to see that person's portfolio. If they're on Behance or Dribble, you'll find that they're, pretty savvy designers. Like, only, like, designers that are really good, that want to showcase their work on Behance or Dribble, you can see, even if you check out their portfolio, that they're good. And then you just take it from there, do a test project, pay them for their time or for that test project, and be very clear and upfront the kind of quality that you're looking for. And if it's not there, be prepared to let that person go and keep searching. And yeah, that's essentially what we did.
Now, the second resource that you were mentioning, Dribble, how is that spelled?
Dribble. I'll just double check.
Yeah, I just tried that, and that is not going to an open working page. That's why I was asking.
Just give me a second. Yeah, dribble.com. It's 3B, sorry.
There we go.
3Bs. So yeah, dribble.com, show and tell for designers.
Perfect. Awesome. Amazing resource. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very good. So, what is in store for you? What's in store for the magazine next? What's your vision for not only Foundr, the magazine, over the next 3 to 5 years, but what's important to you from a personal aspect in your life right now? What are you focused on personally? What are your goals coming up? What are your challenges at the moment?
Great question. So I'll start with the challenges. Our challenges right now is we're growing really fast and we don't have enough product to serve our community. That's essentially our biggest challenge right now. And also we've got some marketing funnels, but they're not fully perfected to what I'd like. And that's our biggest challenge right now. We've got a massive community that we need to be serving with more products.
When you say that, what do you define as a product?
So digital products. So
Okay.
whether it's we still publish the magazine issue, but we're actually getting into the online video courses and stuff like that. And I've found that to be something that our community has asked for. I never even thought, Mike, that when I started the magazine, I'd ever do like courses and anything of the sort. But this is what our community's asked for. This is what our community is loving, and they're asking for so much more. So we're kind of just taking it one step at a time and giving it to them, and just getting really, really clear on what a valuable course is on a certain topic. So yeah, that's my biggest challenge right now. Just building more product and also serving our community more. And then because they're asking for more, and just working on these marketing funnels and just wrapping our heads around that stuff. Because I think if I'm to build Foundr out as a brand and build a very solid body of work and a legacy and it's much more than a magazine now. It's a multifaceted platform, Mike. So I can't be teaching all of those courses. I need to get experts in to teach a whole series of courses. And I want to do things in a way that a lot of people aren't doing it from, I guess just differently. And also at the same time, I think if we're to seriously rapidly grow our business, we need more product. And I think because the magazine is essentially just an entry level product. It's $2.99 a month, a monthly direct debit. It's $4.99 one off issue purchase, or $21.99 for a year. So yeah, for us to build a multi-million-dollar company, which is what my goals are for the next 3 to 5 years, and something that is hitting and impacting not only just millions of people but tens of millions, and to have that ripple effect. I think, we have to strike more partnerships too, and we have to have more product, and we just have to keep doing what we're doing. Like, we've got a good growth trajectory right now, and we're just going to keep building that momentum. But at the same time, more product, do more partnerships, start finding some more leverage with some of the stuff we've got going on. And that's kind of like where I'm looking to take the company. I think we're going to move into events too. Probably in the near future as well. I think that's something else that our community has been asking for, but we won't move into the events, I think, until we've built up a solid product suite. And
Yeah. Yeah, no, you guys definitely have the making for a great ecosystem in that regard. I'm looking through. It's interesting as we've been talking. I'm browsing around the site, and when you mentioned products, that's one of the reasons I asked the question is because I didn't see any here, and this is just me, but it's interesting how the eye and the mind works. I kept looking up at your top navigation, and the titles are magazine, podcast, blog, about, and free tools guide, all in gray. And I kept looking through those choices, and I'm like, I don't see anything that has to do with any kind of products. And my eye completely skipped the bright red products tab that you have on the site next to that. And I completely passed over that. And so there's two things that are interesting about that. One, having something stand out sometimes works for the better and sometimes it doesn't, especially when it comes to a navigation set, if it's not included in the other choices where you would think that it would be found. And then two, it's interesting. I'd be interested to see if you guys ever did a split test. What would happen if you didn't name that tab products, but rather named it solutions or shortcuts?
That's a really good one.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody wants to buy product. That just when it says product, it means if you click this, I'm going to try and sell you something.
Yeah, that's a killer one. Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Jump on Optimizely and split test that.
Yeah, I would either do solutions or shortcuts.
Write that one down. Thank you.
And the next thing that I would consider is, you've got two products listed right now. One is Instagram, which we're going to get to here next, and then the other is a guide to crowdfunding. And I noticed for crowdfunding, you're selling that for $19, and for Instagram, you are selling that for a much, I think, more fair price of $697. And I was going to suggest that you guys, I think a sweet spot for you and your courses would be, $200, $300 to $500, if not the $1,000 to $2,000 range. Where it really is focused on you've demonstrated through the magazine your penchant for quality and what you can deliver, the quality of product you can deliver, which tells me that you can definitely charge a premium price for your actual courses, and that at the end of the day is really going to provide you with the revenue that you guys need to just crush it. And then I think the events piece of that is a great idea as well. I think you guys will do really, really well with your events.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mike. And I think, we're, to be honest, we're quite new to this product stuff. Like we're quite new to the the digital courses or the video courses stuff and building up our back end. Like, to be honest with you, November last year, and everyone says, the money's in the list. Like that really never clicked for me. I was just focused on the magazine, and we had an email database of, 2,000 in November. Mm-hmm. But then, when we started doing some things on Instagram and the things that I'm doing now, our list is at close to 80,000 in that short period of time. And just through Instagram alone, we'll build that to, it should be closer to 150, 200,000 by the end of this year, just from the rapid growth we're getting from Instagram. But I never knew around this back-end product stuff, and I still don't have personally within myself, to be honest with you, Mike, that confidence to charge a $1,000 or $2,000 ticket item. I'm still working my way up to that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all I can do is encourage you to try it once, and you will find out that not only will that be a fair price for whatever it is you're providing, but you're going to attract a much higher quality customer base and clientele. And my view on that, for example, ListGrow, I charged around $2,000 for that. And I provide the most insane guarantee on the planet. And so the way that I reconcile price and value versus, the actual customer experiences, I let them completely decide and be the judge, jury, and provide the verdict basically on what kind of value they received from the program. And so, my goal is always, whenever I launch a product, to put out the product that delivers at least 5 to 10 times in value versus the price that was charged. And
Mm.
so, and then I let the customer decide. So for List Grow, I gave instead of a 30-day money back guarantee, I gave a 6-month money back guarantee.
Yeah,
And so I
wow.
said, go through the entire program. And if for any reason it doesn't meet your expectations, I'll give you a no questions asked refund. On top of that, I said, if you thought this was, it didn't live up to expectations, was a waste of your time in any form or fashion, not only will I give you 100% of your money back, I'll also write you a personal check for an extra $100 and mail that
Yeah,
to you.
jeez. Well, and
And
how many has anyone done has anyone asked for that?
I'll get to that, and then
Okay.
and then on top of that, to really just drive this home, the third part of my guarantee is if you go through the entire program, you follow all of the videos, and you do the work and build the list building system that I'm going to show you how to build. If you don't have a list of at least 5,000 subscribers by the end of that 6-month period, again, I'll give you your money back, and I'll send you a check for an extra $100 if you didn't meet expectations. And there's been almost 1,000 people who've gone through that program in the last couple of months, and only 2 people have asked for the $100 check.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And they have to prove that they've done the work within that 6-month period?
Nope. I'm totally leaving that up to them. And
Yeah, wow.
so that's really, I put the onus on me to deliver the quality of product that I think will produce the result that they're looking for. And I charge a high price for it, but at the end of the day, they totally have all of the power in that situation on whether or not they think it was worth it to them. And so that's really how I've approached my courses in business and all of that good stuff. So
Yeah, well, that's great feedback. I'm learning a lot here now. So thank
yeah,
you.
so I was going to bring it back to you in that form and fashion. And one thing that I would love to go over is, what you guys have done with Instagram. You've got 350,000 followers on there, and I've got to tell you, I have an Instagram account which I've used, I think, one time, and I have like 5 pictures on it that I posted 2 years ago. Um,
Mm.
but I don't get it. I don't get the platform, and I don't understand it. I don't really, and for that reason, it's why I've ignored it and I haven't used it. And so I would love your insight on, one, how you built the follower base, and two, there's got to be a transition point when your Instagram followers are viewing a picture and then you're transitioning those people into another channel, whether that's your email list or as a subscriber to Foundr, and how you guys are doing that.
Yeah, great question, Mike. So, a lot of people look at Instagram, and I did myself for a very long period of time, and I just thought it was just a place where you could just post pictures and that's about it. You post a picture of your dog or your cat, and I didn't believe it could be used as a business tool. And I had some friends that were crushing it on Instagram in the health niche, and I thought, and they even said to me, I'll probably, I don't think Instagram would work for Foundr and your business because it's like, information,
Mm.
right? And it's not, there are a lot of females on Instagram, and there are a lot of young people. And I just like any marketer, you just test channels. And I was bringing on an intern that was going to work with me November last year, and yeah, look, before he started, I just posted a photo on Instagram, and I saw our analytics spike in sales on Google Analytics for the magazine after I posted like 4 images in 2 hours. And I was like, what's going on here? And at that point in time, we had like 500 followers, and I hadn't logged into our Instagram account in like since it was ever opened. I had a friend, a friend, like a school friend that was just doing a little bit of social media stuff for me, and he stopped doing it because he got a job.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just posted those images, and I saw this spike, and I was just like, wow, what's going on here? And then I ended up connecting with a guy that, in fact, was a reader of the magazine, and he had a reasonable sized Instagram account, which was around, when he contacted me, around 20,000 followers, and he charged me. He asked me if I wanted to do something called a shout out, and it was pretty much he posted an image of the Richard Branson cover,
Mm.
with an iPad, with the Richard Branson cover, and he told them to go, and he told his followers to go and download the magazine. It didn't work. And I didn't, I thought, this Instagram thing's a waste of time. But then, I tried it myself, and I noticed a spike in our sales. And funny enough, when I checked out his account, it was at 80,000 followers.
Hmm.
So, and that was in like a 4 month space. So I was like, okay, well, I know this guy's from Melbourne. I know he reads Foundr. I'm going to ask him and pick his brain and see what's up. And also, I was watching very closely what he was doing, and I noticed a few things, Mike. I noticed that he posted a lot. I noticed that he posted a lot of motivational type quotes, and everyone does it on social. There's no reason you can't do it on Instagram, right? And everyone does it. Even you look at Success Magazine on Facebook, they've got like 2 million followers, or a million followers, and a lot of what they post is just quotes, right? It's a great way to spread the growth of any social channel. It's kind of like infographics for the web, They're very, very shareable, and they're easy to consume, and people like to share it with their friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just went down this path of really just growth hacking Instagram, and at first it was just to grow the magazine, and we were generating a lot more sales. We were tracking back from Instagram, and right to this day, Instagram's one of our biggest sources of customer acquisition, and I made a switch from moving people instead of going straight to the magazine, because the thing with Instagram is the engagement's crazy, Mike. Like, it's really, really powerful. And the only thing is, you only have one clickable link, and that one clickable link is in your bio. So you need to be doing whatever you can to get people to click on your link. And that's essentially, the number one goal of the Foundr Magazine account, besides, building a relationship with our community, raising a lot of awareness for the brand, and building the exposure. But it's to get people to click on our link and, download a lead magnet, and that works really, really well. And yeah, that's essentially what we're doing to turn that into, revenue and profit.
Interesting. Yeah, that's what I see is, especially in the entrepreneur space, is everybody's putting up motivational quotes on Instagram, and you've got your logo on pretty much all of these as well. And I just never understood, where's the call to action? How do you get these people to read the quote and then bounce them to where you want to bounce them? And I guess if you actually, click on the photo, then you've got some room to add some text and maybe a link or something like that as well. Yeah, so interesting. And I know Lewis Howes has been having some huge success with, I believe it's Pinterest, on his channel as well. And so it is good stuff. So that's been y'all's primary channel, about 350,000 followers. What is, the next one in line for you? Is it focusing on your email list, and what are you guys doing with that?
Yeah, so it's definitely focusing on our email list, and yeah, it's at close to 80,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And last month last month we did about 30,000 opt-ins, mainly from Instagram. So just really ramping that up, really, really scaling that up, and I think, yeah, we will ride that channel for a very long time, to be honest, Mike. I think in terms of marketing, you find a channel and you just hit it really, really hard. So to be honest, I will ride that channel really, really hard, keep growing it. We're growing it at an organic rate in terms of followers at 50,000 a month. So by the end of this year, we'll be at least 500,000. And email database is growing rapidly from that. And pretty much when the ad platform comes and goes to the public, I'm happy to pay and utilize the ad platform as well. Like the early days, and I'm sure you would have capitalized on it. The early days of the Facebook ad platform, it would have been really cheap, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, so those are just absolutely amazing numbers. So I have to ask, I assume you're outsourcing this process. For example, how many posts are you guys making a day on Instagram? And I assume you're outsourcing this. And if so, how did you find that person?
Yeah, so it's just we do outsource it. So a big part of rapidly growing your Instagram is getting other accounts to shout you out. So it's a lot of business development and partnerships, believe it or not.
Mm.
So you want to get all these other big accounts to shout you out. You want to be part of like shout out groups. So it's a lot of relationship building stuff, believe it or not. Like I partied in Vegas with all the guys that have the top business accounts, just like how all the top internet marketers, you know what I mean? So it's a similar thing, and it's all about business development. But in terms of posting, we're posting at least 4 to 8 times a day because the more you post, the faster you grow. I've tested this.
And do you pay your outsourcer per post, or how do you compensate them?
Yeah, so that's so how we outsource it is I have a staff member in the Philippines, just a virtual assistant, and I've trained her up how to create the images, and she queues them up in a tool called Latergram, and that's like a scheduling tool like Buffer, and she just creates like 100 images a week, and then I just have a whole library of images that I choose from, and then on my phone, because the problem is with Instagram, you can only publish from your phone. You can't even publish from a computer. So I just get push notifications on my phone. I've just built up a habit every couple of hours. I just post, and I do a lot of business development around getting other accounts to shout us out, and yeah, that's about it. I probably spend about half an hour a day, but it's well worth our time right now.
Yeah, 30,000 opt-ins a month, absolutely. And when you are pursuing the business development side, the mutual posts, if you will, or the shout outs, when you're first starting out, I mean, obviously when you've got a channel like yours, it's pretty easy. There's there's a big potential value exchange between you guys. When you're first starting out, you've got 100 followers, 200 followers, whatever it may be. Is that a realistic option for people because the value exchange for the other person is so small, or is it compensation based where it's like, hey, I'll pay you a couple $100? Is that an option as well? How do you pursue that?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Mike, and I think. When I started, I started from zero, and there were many accounts that I've become friends with that have a lot more followers than me, and we still have all sorts of relationships. And that's, we had a podcast. I've featured some of those guys on our podcast. All sorts of things like that. That mutually beneficial exchange in value. You can grow your account really fast if you do pay people. I know that there are definitely some people that have grown like an account from 0 to 100,000 in a few months. I'm pretty sure, maybe even 1 month. I'm pretty sure Ty Lopez did that. Are you familiar with Ty Lopez?
Yeah, he was just on the show about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look. I don't know if he likes people to know, but I do know for a fact that he grew his Instagram account really, really fast. I don't know Ty personally, but I know he grew his account really, really fast, and I know that there was plenty of shout-outs purchased.
Interesting.
So, I know you can grow your account very, very fast by spending a bit of dollars. And you can build that leverage really quickly. Even if you got it to like let's say you spent a couple of grand. Maybe 3 to 4K, maybe 5K in a month. You should be able to get it to at least. And if you follow some of the principles that we share and stuff, training course and stuff like that, you could get it to like 50,000 followers pretty quickly, I reckon, right? And if you went to an account that was, let's say 200,000, you could just do a 4 for 1. So you shout me once, and I'll shout you 4 times. So then that's that mutually beneficial exchange. There's all sorts of ways you can find that value exchange. And, there's a lot of accounts on Instagram where the people that run it are pretty young, to be honest, Mike. They're like little kids,
Right.
so they don't have a solid business model behind, their high traffic Instagram account. So I can find leverage around that. I can be like, okay, how about if I just shout you out and you change your link to my bio, like to you change your bio link to one of our landing pages and post an image, getting people to click on that bio, and I'll shout you out in return.
Mm.
Can you see where I'm going with this? Like
Yeah.
trying to find that mutually beneficial exchange in value, but also trying to find what that person is looking for. Because there's people on Instagram that have very big pages that don't have a solid business model behind it. So yeah, if they want more followers and they just charge for shout outs, there's a lot there. Like I think yeah, that's how I look at it, and that's how I play it.
Brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant stuff. This has been, I'd have to say, one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far. So thank you so much for that. And guys, if y'all want to dive into the Instagram specific stuff that Nathan and I have been talking about here real quick, go over to foundrmag.com and check out the products tab. And they've got an Instagram domination course over there that I'm looking at right now. So you can go check that out and kind of continue down this path if it sounds like something you'd love to pursue. But Nathan, anything else that you would love to share with our audience? Like I said, this has been an absolutely value-packed episode. Can't wait to share this with everybody. But any final thoughts or anywhere that you would like to send the Self-Made Man audience to check out Foundr? And guys, that's spelled Foundr. There is no E. When you check that out, and obviously I will be putting links in the show notes as well.
Oh, well, look, first of all, Mike, like, thank you so much for the kind words, because, the caliber of your guests, I'm really, really honored for you to say that. And I'm glad that I can provide a ton of value to you. So I guess there's a few things I just wanted to part with. And I think that's, one thing that I'm quite proud of that we've done with Foundr, and, Foundr's my first business, is I was very, very, and I'm very, very, still to this day, very big on design and branding. Like, if you want to build a business that's taken seriously, you have to be doing it from like a world-class way. And I think, if you look at all the top startups, they've got some of the best branding going out there. They've got great design. And I believe, and I know for a fact, that you can create and replicate that kind of world-class design at a real, at a quite affordable cost rate. So I just wanted to share that with your audience, because I think so often people think and they look, at our website or our work, and they probably think it costs tens of thousands of dollars to create. And I'm telling you, it doesn't. You can always, find some sort of leverage. You can always find talent where they're being underutilized or they're not getting well looked after. And yeah, you can find some sort of value there. And I think that's really, really important. I'm very big on branding. I'm very big on design. And yeah, I just want to finish off on that, because I think it's really important. I think it's something that so often people overlook, but more and more now it's becoming really important.
Very good. Nathan Chan, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, go check out and subscribe to Foundr Magazine. It is an absolutely value-packed publication, and if nothing else, quite the case study in what Nathan just mentioned when it comes to branding and launching your business, considering that it's less than 2 years old at this point. So again, Nathan, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, check out the show notes to link up to their Instagram account and everything else. And we will see you next week on Self-Made Man. Take care.